name's Aubrey.
His name's Aubrey, yeah. Why'd you say that? Like, what's wrong with Aubrey?
I could imagine Kendrick really picking on his name, because I would.
In terms of a rap beef, like a commercial rap beef, I've never seen anything like it. He gets very passionate and he doesn't really understand what kind of card he's playing and like where that can go. And depending on who you're doing that to, it can go to many, many, many different places. Guys, hello. This is the Matt and Marc with Marc show, where Marc and Matt do just that. Matt
I'm Marc.
Today we are reviewing, or we're reacting to, I guess, video on the history between Kendrick and Drake. Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Drake Graham is his full name. Did you know that, Marc?
I had no idea. His name's Aubrey.
His name's Aubrey, yeah. Well, what? So, why'd you say about that? What's wrong with Aubrey?
I guess it's just like less gangster than I had essentially. Not really. I guess that's something that I could imagine Kendrick really picking on his name, but maybe that's just him, because I would.
You would do that, yeah.
It doesn't rhyme with too much. I guess that's one lucky thing in Drake's corner.
Aubrey,
strawberries,
Morley's, like Morley's chicken.
There you go.
It's a reach. You're dropping a syllable.
With that good dish with strawberries.
Strawberry lemonade, buddy. All right.
Well done, mate.
Some liquor in there. Yeah. So now we've confirmed Aubrey is not a gangster name.
Sorry, Drake.
Sorry, Graham. Basically, we're about to go on a journey. Just to give a bit of a background, right, Marc? You don't know much about like Drake's discography, and you're not so up to date with Kendrick's latest stuff.
That's totally right. Yeah. I think I might have heard like a random Drake song in the background here and there, but not even know that it's Drake. And then when it comes to Kendrick, all up to date with Kendrick up until like the Damn album, and since then really fallen off the bandwagon. And now in terms of this whole new Drake and Kendrick beef stuff that's going on, I don't know anything. So a complete newbie to the situation, which is so fun really. We're getting into it.
It's so rare. Like, so me, very much the opposite of you. Obviously, I've been. Mate, if you go through my history on YouTube, literally for the last few months, you'll see nothing but Kendrick and Drake. Maybe there's like a few other. There's a few other bits and pieces, but you know me, when I go in. And this is a topic and an event that...
Yeah, the world's going crazy, right?
Mate, in terms of a rap beef, like a commercial rap beef, I've never seen anything like it. Not even...
Really? You weren't compared to anything like... Because, you had classic rap beefs back in the day.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast, Biggie Pac, Jay-Z and Nas as well, which I think was the last tectonic plate shifting, you know what I mean? Like, big beef, which changed a lot. And to the point where the term Easter is now just a word that you use to mean that you like eviscerated someone in battle.
Oh, really?
So yes, like how if you're like a really crazy obsessive fan, you're a stan. Like Eminem popularized that.
Yeah.
Well, since, what was it, 2001, whenever, I think that's when that Ether came out. You got ethered, or you got ethered on a track. And it's cool because now it lives beyond hip hop. So you can get ethered on a basketball court, you can get ethered in poker.
Ethered back. Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah, have you been ethered?
Never been ethered. No.
I haven't been ethered.
I'm not happy. I think
stay away from those etheries.
I think I'm winning.
Etheries. Yeah, you're like 5 up in this battle already. Like, and you got life. So in terms of the scale of the beat, never seen anything like it in terms of one, like just the size of it. Two, of the level of coverage it's getting. So I was watching a piece that MSNBC did. About like a section about the battle. Within that show, they had like, they just got like clips of it. They showed little clips of it being covered in other areas. And mate, there was one, I swear it was like a Premier League football match. Like one of the commentators, it's actually funny because he's like, do you know who you're talking about? Because he fucked up. But he said he got haymaker just like Kendrick did to Drake. Lamar Kendrick? Like James Bond? I don't know, but he tried. Yeah, the fact that he would only it's permeating everything. So in terms of coverage, that's another thing. The most important, number 3, the implications, the stuff that has come out as a result of this beef, and also like what that means for the immediate, like right now, and also the future, not even just for either of the artists, but actually for the industry and how people consume art, and
why not
even how they look at people, you know, and how art is presented, we'll say.
So I'm quite interested in the fact that all of this has gone down with social media now, like being the way it is, with something like a big rap battle kicking off, because I guess it must be like almost feeding back in on itself in terms of like the video coming out, the reaction, the comments, the fans feeding back into the music, that's then generating more lyrics, that's feeding back into the band. I guess if you had this back in like the 90s or something, you had East Coast, West Coast, like it probably would have been like missiles being shot back and forth or something, like in terms of how much it would have escalated more. Maybe that had something to do with it, but I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I'm just shooting in the dark. Like,
mate, what's funny is that you're touching on a lot that you don't even know. But we'll put it there. We will get to all of it. I think for you, in terms of getting more accustomed with what Drake's been doing, what Kendrick does, and their issues over the last few years. React to this video. It's only like a 10-minute video. I think it covers it quite well. It was, I think, only released like 2 years ago, so long before this current beef. I'm not going to get into spoilers, you know, but it'll give you a good insight into what's been going on.
Okay, great. Educate our newbie over here.
It will be very informative.
My side of things, you know, I'm not really like into doing like a regular hymn.
So you and Kendrick, you will sleep tonight. Not
yeah. Drake and Kendrick Lamar are at a so-called Cold War, although neither of them openly admit it, but we can all understand that the guys have had a fight. And in this video, we will figure out how it all started. There are a lot of interviews on the internet, references and songs, but we have highlighted the most important points in our opinion. You're watching Music 5. Let's go. They first crossed their creative paths back in 2011 on Drake's second album titled Take Care, and the interlude Buried Alive. It was a time when Kendrick Lamar hadn't even made his major label debut yet.
And in the mirror, I'm embarrassed. I'm feeling like a suicidal terrorist, react like an infant whenever...
After Buried Alive, he gave an interview in which he told how they met. I did a show in Toronto, my first show in Toronto. I think it was the same night we was going back to the hotel, and he hit my phone. I guess he had got the word that I was in town. He was there for the night working for the album, and he just said he wanted to meet up. We met up, chilled out, got to vibe, see where each other was at and shit. Sometimes you like a person's music, but you definitely don't like the actual artist when you sit down and talk to them. That's a real good dude. He got a real genuine soul. We clicked immediately. We had spoken probably one time before that. In the same year, the Club Paradise tour started, in which Drake took A$AP Rocky and Kendrick Lamar, and later Drake appears on Lamar's legendary album. And let's also not forget Fucking Problems.
Good God, what you doing that walk for? When I see that thing move, I just wish we would fight less and we would talk more. Kill them all, dead bodies in the hallway. Again, Bob, listen to what the crystal pause.
In 2013, Kendrick appeared on Big Sean's track called Control, a track that caused an uproar in the entire hip-hop industry. Kendrick's verse is still being talked about to this day.
Drake, Big Sean said, Nick Sean, Tyler McMillan, I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas.
Drake said he was unmoved by being name-checked in the song. Asked for his initial response to the track, he said that he simply went about my day, went and got dinner, and kept it moving. I didn't really have anything to say about it. It just sounded like an ambitious thought to me. That's all it was. I know good and well that Kendrick's not murdering me at all in any platform. So when that day presents itself, I guess we can revisit the topic. In turn, Kendrick Lamar says that people made a fuss and took words out of context. I think the ones that really took it out of context was the people that we know want to grab an opportunity off the hype of the record, rather than actually tuning in and listening and knowing how hungry I am. A lot of people think it's about talent. That's why they get it wrong. I'm saying that I'm the most hungry in this. I respect the legends in the game. I respect people that done it before me, people that lost their lives over this. Because of what they laid down, I'm going to try to come harder and breathe it and live it. That's the point of the whole verse, what I'm trying to convey through that verse. All the ignorance behind it, you can kill that noise. But it's not that simple. A month later, Drake's new album comes out, and in the song The Language, he responds to Kendrick.
I don't know why they've been lying, but your shit is not that inspiring.
And a couple of days later, an interview with Drake comes out in which he appears to be praising Kendrick.
Almost like it's very foreshadowing. You know, he ended up making a great record, Good Kid, Mad City. Just the connection.
Phenomenal album, by the way. Phenomenal album. Yeah, round of applause.
And then now he's
super talented. So yeah, cheers to Kendrick Lamar.
But at the same time made a couple of jokes about Control being a track people would listen to for just a couple of days.
And that verse was... he's giving people like moments, you know, like that verse was a moment to talk about. But like, if I ask you, for example, like, how does that verse start?
No.
Sometime later, Kendrick takes part in the BET Awards Cypher.
Yeah, and nothing been the same since they dropped Control and trust the sense of the rap was back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha.
It didn't take long for Drake to answer in the remix of the track Shit, where he took a few shots at Kendrick.
By your city like you run there, then I brought my tour to your city, to my son there, nigga.
This line is directed at Kendrick Lamar for always talking about running the West Coast, more specifically LA and Compton. And if those lines might not have been addressed to him, then these 100% were meant for Kendrick.
Niggas gon' be fuck niggas, that's why we never gave a fuck when a fuck nigga switched up.
Drake tells how unfairly Lamar acted in his opinion. According to Drizzy, he is the first of those who heard Section 80 who began to promote Kendrick to the masses. A joint tour is an example of that. In response, Kendrick began to take shots at him.
I feel like he made a decision, you know what I'm saying? And there was a decision to make. You know, he was like, man, I'm either going to go for this moment because I know it's going to be a big moment, or I'm going to like take heed to the fact that I have real relationships and I'm going to like not do that. It kind of puts you in a box a bit. So
I think that put Kendrick in a box.
I don't know if I necessarily respect it. You know, we all make decisions. I'm sure he'll be good. He's talented as...
During a Vibe cover story interview, Drake was asked specifically about whether The Language was a sub at Kendrick's Control verse. Drake said he didn't want to get into responses and called The Language just energy. Well, he said Kendrick's verse was more about MCs wanting to be the best. He opened up about why The Language would have been perceived a certain type of way. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling, so my album rollout became about this thing. What am I supposed to do? Nah, we'll be buddy-buddy? Mind you, I never once said he's a bad guy or I don't like him. I think he's a fucking genius in his own right, but I also stood my ground as I should. After 8 months, the conflict seemed to have died down. Drake calls Kendrick a king during OVO Fest, but Kendrick didn't appreciate it.
Let hell King Kendrick resurrected my finches, been dissecting your motor mouth till I break down the engine.
Then there are more notes of despair and resentment from Drake in the song Used To.
They're gonna say your name on them airwaves, they gonna hit you up right like a starting rap.
The next point is just some food for thought. In the song King Kunta, Lamar says,
"What a rapper, what a ghostwriter. What the fuck happened?"
And a few months later, Meek Mill accuses the most popular hip-hop artist of having ghostwriters. And many fans returned to King Kunta after Meek Mill's statements and wondered, what if Lamar knew about it before everyone else? Then a few more months pass, and Lamar performs these lines while parodying Drake. Well, at least that's what some people on the internet think.
What a rapper, what a ghostwriter. Tell me what happened to you.
Drake, in a feature with The Game, says that if it wasn't for pop, he would have taken all the fans of conscious rap.
I would have all of your fans if I didn't go poppin'. I stayed on some conscious shit.
In 2 months, Dr. Dre's album comes out in which Kendrick Lamar takes part. In the song Dark Side/Gone, he just rereads his lines from Energy.
Got enemies, got a lot of enemies, got a lot of people trying to drain me of my energy. Enemies giving me energy, I want to fight now. Subliminal sending me all of this hate, I thought I was holding the mic down. And in the song Deep Water, which uses the metaphor life in Compton is like the life of predators of the aquatic world, he tells about a great white shark that breathes beef. And
uses the number 6 in the description, which means a lot to Drake. This is the slang designation of his native Toronto.
It's 60 carry. It's probably is the death by Eno Mr. Cherry. The biggest of expressing everything that's something better than a great.
One time, even Obama was asked who would win the rap battle.
And Kendrick Lamar got in a rap battle. Who do you think would win?
Got to go with Kendrick. I'm just saying. I think Drake is an outstanding entertainer, but Kendrick, his lyrics, his last album was outstanding.
To which Drake replied,
"Tell Obama that my verses are just like the whips of the end. They bulletproof."
"This whole beef is like the Cold War, but it could have been different." Kendrick and Drake were separated from a huge beef by one interview. At least that's what former NFL player and now ESPN host Marcellus Wiley says, who suddenly started discussing Kendrick and Drake. "All I know is that they had some beef, and I was present at that moment, when this conflict could have reached a scale that we have not seen since the days of Ja Rule and 50 Cent, and maybe even Ice Cube and NWA. Everyone tried hard so that no one else would see this interview. It was simply destroyed. I won't say anything else, but I was there and heard verbal attacks towards the other."
Ring, ring. And then our bosses come up to us and they're like, we have to extinguish that interview. We have to discard it. I was like, what? Why?
Wiley refused to specify which of the two artists made the statements, but noted that at the time the rapper's agent felt what it could lead to and made sure that the interview never came out. It is worth noting that Drake was in the ESPN studio where Wiley works, shortly after the track Control was released. In 2016, Drake collaborated with DJ Khaled to release a track where he mentions Kendrick as a boy from Compton and makes a reference to his interlude For Free.
Like your boy from Compton said, you know this dick ain't free.
In 2017, Lamar releases The Hard Part 4, in which fans began to wonder who these lines are dedicated to.
"Round my neck, nigga, you lame, and when I get at you, homie, don't you tell me you was just playing."
However, this may also be addressed to Big Sean, since they did not get along at that time either. In 2019, Drake gives respect to J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
I have a lot of respect for those guys because they also continue to, stay true to what we started with.
And it seems like you could think that everything was okay between them, but Kanye West confirmed in an interview in 2021 that Lamar and Drizzy are still on bad terms.
Smoking on your top 5 tonight, smoking on your what's the name tonight. For the pavement, who to go? Can I make shit up at the numbers? All I know.
What do you think about their hidden rivalry?
Oh, well. Yeah, very.
What did that do?
A lot of backstory. Interesting. Makes you wonder, huh? There's a lot of obscureness and a lot of vagueness. I have to ask you, like, what do you get from like a lot of those tracks? Because when they just drop a line and it's just like they're just saying something that that could be like applied to 100 people. They're more like elaboration elsewhere, where they're kind of like, oh yeah, this was about Drake, or this was definitely about Kendrick, or is it like speculation? And then the speculation turns into the insult more so than the actual what was said.
Right.
I from like a couple of instincts, but it was like directly, like the boy from Compton. It's like, okay,
yes, yeah,
no, you know what he's saying, but when he's like just saying kind of offhanded, is that directly against them or not? Especially how it started anyway. It seemed like it was very vague comments, like the first couple of things that seemed to kind of get it kicked off.
So a lot of the clips that was in that video obviously were cut off because they couldn't play too much.
Yeah.
Like the examples that they gave of that guy Marcellus Wiley, NFL player. I remember years and years and years ago, I remember him, he sort of alluded to the fact that there was something that had happened with Kendrick and Drake, and that it was so serious that it was going to very heightened levels, like it was going out of rap, and it was like the magnitude of it would have been, I think he said, on par with like Jay-Z or Nas or something like that. But he didn't give any details, and so I was like, okay. So I quite sort of took that in. When I heard King Kunta, I don't know if it's the first time or eventually, it was very clear to me that he was talking about Drake in terms of ghostwriters. And I
right.
So Pimp Butterfly came out 2015. Don't remember when the first allegations came out from Meek Mill, who at the time was dating Nicki Minaj, and he was basically the one who blew the lid open. What actually happened is Drake and Meek Mill were on a song together, and the lyrics that Drake was spitting, Drake was thinking, are you talking about Nicki Minaj? Because it was a very known thing that Drake had a thing for Nicki. I mean, he has a thing for every fucking woman he's in, 10 feet in. But he had a big thing for Nicki Minaj. His starting line on that track was, girl, your dreams to me is probably not a challenge yet. So Meek was like, are you talking about Nicki? Like, because this is a thing that Drake does. If he's talking to you, you would know, but everyone would kind of speculate, oh, who's he talking about? And you know he's talking about you. His MO is usually he'll go for a girl, he'll go for a wifey, he'll go for an ex. This is his MO.
Okay, that's mostly that.
He gets very personal, and he doesn't really understand what kind of card he's playing and like where that can go.
Yeah.
And so the track's
going to escalate quick like that.
And depending on who you're doing that to, it can go to many, many, many different places. His like biggest battle before this Kendrick stuff was with Pusha T, from the clip.
Oh yeah.
Maybe along the way we'll get into that as well. But he basically went through his playbook of getting too personal, and then Pusha T went ultra personal. And then that changed Drake's trajectory. It actually changed his life and his lifestyle and his public image. Really? Just because, and again, we will go into it. Actually, now we're talking about it's actually mad how like multi-layered this is. Going back. So Meek Mill was like, you talking about my girl? And then Meek Mill discovered the lyrics were written by a guy called Quentin Miller, who is like a writer, basically a ghostwriter for Drake. That's when he found a reference track, like a demo track. This is, here's the melodies, here's the lyrics, all this sort of shit. When Meek discovered that, he did like a post on Instagram and was like, that's what they refer to. Don't compare me to Drake. He don't even write his own shit. And that's when it then became, that's when it was out. As soon as I heard that, if I sit with things, I can read between the lines, especially rap-wise and all of that. So when Kendrick said, I swore I wouldn't tell, most of y'all are sharing bars like you got the bottom bunk of a two-man cell. Literally saying like, you're sharing bars like you're in prison, bro, like getting crazy, dude. What the fuck? How is a rapper having a ghostwriter? What the fuck happened? So from that, I was kind of like, and I kind of knew, I knew he was talking about Drake. And also, one of the other things that they cut off, Kendrick's BET performance. There was just that snippet there where he said, nothing's been the same. I spat control and put a sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. And actually that whole bar, and that's how we can look at it as well. That whole bar, the thing that he spat for the BET thing, I think that's all at Drake. It's all at Drake. And then
that seemed very direct. Like that part.
I think we may as well just watch that video. And again, I think this will give good insight into like the temperature. And obviously, this was like 10 years ago.
Well, interesting just hearing a little bit of Drake. Stylistically, you can actually see like some similarities in him and Kendrick, which I wasn't really expecting, just in terms of like tone and a little bit of vibe or whatnot. It's quite cool, actually. Kind of makes it more interesting to see where this battling is going to go.
Interesting.
All right, let's go. Yeah.
Cool Boys verse. This whole Cypher is sick because it's all TDE. But I would say let's skip to Kendrick just to keep it.
It really shows up.
I hate y'all. I do anything to replace y'all. Shout out to Face Marc. Forget a boy till I'm unemployed with a day job. For chicken boxes, I kick ass and they kick knowledge. I'll wave your polished and 99% of the scholars you start at graduated. I'm the master that masturbated, made the favorite of theater. The industry at once is fascinated. You either corny or an opportune. I let you eat and I go back to church and still practice that commute. What are we doing? I'm about to crack the bitches cold. Yeah, and nothing been the same because they dropped control and tough to censor the rapper back to his pajama foes. Ha, just so you, ha, I'm bulletproof. His shots have never been straight. Penitentiary on the dumps, boy, that benefits. I got my thumb on hip hop and my foot in the back of your ass. Aftermath gets the nasty ass. Search nigga like Master Jeffrey, jump on his car, turn the shiny toy verbiage, get left and get know I'm a killer. I'm on your head, you know I'm a killer. The West Coast, coast to Nostra, under oath till it's over, you're over both. So what the fuck? I fuck you niggas up, fuck your niggas up, she's up, niggas like when I want, you going that she going fucking up, hacking and rashing, popping attitude, don't chill like a natural nigga. I'm all tapping Mason and transformation, pacing back and forth, racing my thoughts on embracing dates. Still bless on my Abrams looking this shit up. I feel like some of y'all is hate. Quite frankly, your bitch bullies so thank you for grabbing it. Charlie Silver likes to act this what a magic accent that's never happened while with this involved. Imagine attack this so far in me. You need me just calling me. I think, oh, the wait a minute, your career rings shit unless you got the kills against. Thank it'll move is that for my that should be like George Watt, shake my walk on that. What? Hollywood's being good to me. Little hood nippy things to find mom soaring me. Family dream big as fuck, and I got the balls to say it. All Steve falling out, till Spartan need a replace. Cause I'm out chill. The rest of your mouth chill. Invest in the vessel, Vietnam vetting you out there. The white court girl that's drilling this Mojo, feeling women, the fur coat, pimp the industry. Living this day, Seattle's they fur toast. Shook, you're scared to death, you're scared and looking the world from Kendrick scenario. King, Kendrick.
Wild, man. I love Kendrick, man. Unbelievable. So he goes hard then. It's what you're
listen, bro.
He goes real hard.
Listen to the first line. He literally says, I hate y'all. I'd do anything to replace y'all. That's great. He's talking to Drake.
Holy hell. Yeah. That was definitely in your face, like right in your face, and kicked you straight up the arse.
They think got you sensitive. Ha, jokes on you.
Oh, that's definitely provocative.
Definitely provocative. To give some context, so that the NFL guy who said, oh yeah, there was issues with Kendrick.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is, Drake went to this interview on this sports show from ESPN. So this was around the time Kendrick dropped his Control verse, when he went at everyone. So they asked Drake, what do you think about it? What do you think about Kendrick? And apparently, he was going in on Kendrick, just boiling him off, just saying he ain't shit. Like he was very badly about him, right? And so the guys who interviewed him were like, oh shit, we've got some gold here. Like, this is going to be massive.
Yeah, top of that.
The proper hip-hop beef for the generation. ESPN, they have a sports award show called the ESPYs. And Drake was going to be hosting the ESPYs. Big deal, big star. So his label called and said, don't put that footage out or Drake isn't performing. He's not going to the ESPYs.
Shit.
But what he didn't know, what most people didn't know, I believe, is that Marcellus Wiley, he's close to, I think he's from LA or Compton or something. So he knows Kendrick's camp. So after this happened, he gave him a call and was like, yeah, blah, 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 this is what's going on. And they were like, okay, don't worry about it. Don't touch it. Don't say anything. Leave it where it is. We'll sort it out. And shortly after, Kendrick came with that verse. So since then, that's sort of been it.
Wow.
Like subliminals. There were many subliminals, and then there were like very obvious shots.
Yeah, right. They were kind of doing it to each other, like directly under the radar almost, but then it's just like all blown out in the open, like in public.
Yeah.
Because I guess unless you know the context, it's going to go a bit ahead in it in a way. Like, I know, I listened to it, I would have no idea that they're chatting about each other.
Yeah.
Enough, like in that world enough, you'd be like, is he chatting about Drake? That really sounds about Drake. Like,
yeah.
They're not like that, super direct, like.
Disputable.
Well out in the open.
There's mate, if you see like a lot of the interviews that Drake was doing, I know you saw like clips of them where he was being asked about, like what he thought of the verse and all of them, Kendrick, and the guy is hurt. Like he's underneath Drake. So this is hip hop, right? This is rap, and obviously it's based on how it kind of started up in terms of that competitive nature as people battle. DJs used to battle, MCs battle, crews battle. So when someone comes out, and at that stage in hip hop, this period of rap, it was very stagnant in terms of like real essence of rap, like rappers rapping, being lyrical. I think around that time there was a lot of like, it might have been like just after like the sort of the punk era, or maybe it was the ringtone sort of Soulja Boy era, where everything just became very poppy, very commercialized, very much watered down. and you had a lot of artists that were out. Some had their own identity, but I think it was around the time that hip hop was going through this real, like, it was being very homogenized. It's kind of like where we are now, where most of these, artists or whatever sound the same. They've got the same auto tune and stuff like that.
Yeah,
just washed out in rubbish. So when Kendrick dropped that, it was like literally he shook the hip hop world up, and it woke everyone up. So, this is actually we need to get lyrical again. We need to get back to the bars. So there was a few lines in that song where specifically he said that he was the king of New York, and New Yorkers being the mecca of hip hop, they're very protective and very competitive and very well, what the fuck you talking about, son? Kind of feel like, how are you going to call yourself the king of New York and you're from Compton or what have you? But then again, that was layered. Some people were a bit butthurt about it, but mainly it was really competitive. The MCs came out, people are writing, responding to Kendrick saying, oh yeah, and he did the job. Literally, he woke everyone up and was saying, look, we're all artists, but I have love and respect for you all. I'm trying to kill you. This is what it's about. I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to take your fans. The only person that responded so saltily in these sort of interviews and stuff was Drake. Multiple interviews, he's being asked, and he's like, yeah, man, he didn't say he went too far, but he was like, if you're going to put that on a bar, then, let it be that then, because then when I saw you, you were all friendly and stuff. But it's like, bro, he's just bars and a beat.
Yeah.
He actually gave you and everyone in, that he mentioned respect. He gave you respect just by mentioning you. He literally said, I've got love for you all, that you are my peers and this is a competition and I'm trying to everyone.
That's it, yeah. Because between an enemy and a rival, isn't it? You just think it's like you can hate someone and you just want to take them down because you hate them. You want to take someone down because they're almost like your equivalent. You respect them so much, so you want to beat
100%. And it's about respect afterwards, yeah. And it's just like any sport, any really fiercely competitive sport. You've got boxers who literally give each other, degrees of brain damage, and they have respect for each other. After
that's it. Yeah, for real.
When Kendrick said, like a sensitive rapper back in his pajamas.
What?
Yeah, this is amazing. But everyone knew who you're talking about. There can only be one person, so that was the first starting point of very overt beef. As you said, it's out in the open. We just looking to you, and now we're here.
Wow, that's a great introduction to where we're going, mate. I must say, I feel like I've learned a lot already in terms of the context and the setting, and even more about their characters in a sense. Drake being more sensitive one, and just gauging the intelligence behind it, and it's not simple stuff. It's not just oh, hey you, oh, you're dumb, you're stupid. It's it's weaving intelligence into your art craft to say take down your rival, and almost I guess a boxing in the ring kind of thing. You're going for the little side jabs, you're going for the sneaky attacks, and then you're waiting for the knockout blow. You know what I mean? This seems like almost round one. Ding ding, we're off. No one's getting too hard. Everyone's both each other out, feeding the ground, finding their feet.
It's a sparring session, but it's without head guards. It's a pretty full-on sparring session.
Wow, we've got a fun journey ahead of us, eh?
We really do. It's cool. It's funny because it's different when you're going through it again, and this is why I really wanted to. I really thought it would be good and then interesting to have such a blank canvas as you, because in terms of the beef, the relationship, the scenario, and even some of the material, you're very unbiased. You're very much. I think it would be really interesting to go through all of it and see what your thoughts are by the when we're.
Oh yeah, cool me excited, mate. Cool me excited. Hey, ready to get into the next one already.
What I'm thinking is, I think we can now get into the beef. first person shooter, Drake and J. Cole. And they did a collab track, and I'll just say that Kendrick was mentioned.
Okay.
And that's where it all kicks off of.
Gotcha. What's the timeline on that?
So we're not going through the full timeline. I think first person shooter came out about 300 to 400 ago, maybe. And then everything most recent has happened.
Nice. So the backstory is in play. The pieces.
Yeah. You've got the lore. You've got the background. Yeah, bro. So now it's just really ours. We'll just go into it next time.
I appreciate it, man. You started out perfectly. Really good, man. I hope there's many people out there as well that are in the same position as me, and I have no idea what's going on.
I think there are, man. I think
you set it out for all of us.
All right. Well, hopefully we've introduced you and as you said, other people into it maybe, and try, really sort of go in depth. There were so many things that, like, you remember when I said let's put a pin in this? There were so many points I was just like, just slipped, because it's crazy how much foreshadowing there is, like, to the whole thing.
I bet a lot of nuance as well.
100%, a lot.
Well, anyone out there that likes what we do, hit us up in the comments and show us some love, and subscribe, and maybe leave us a like. And if there's anything else you'd like Matt to elaborate on, definitely let us know, because I'm going to be doing a lot of these videos, that's for sure.
We read all the comments. We have 0 subscribers. There's about 5 comments, so we'll learn those 5 comments. And we might reply to one of them. Like, we'll see, innit? Busy.